Now we want to get the save system working inside of the game. So let's say the player has progressed through the game, they're doing quite well, they now want to save their progress. We're going to be using one of these buildings in order to actually save the progress. So let's click on the building itself, and then we can, it's called Struct Pavilion. Okay, let's just double click on this in order to get a bit closer. Now what we want is that when the player actually enters this building, if I can see it, they can save. So we're actually just going to place a box in there, and obviously set it to a trigger so that Unity knows that the player has entered into the building. Okay, so with Struct Pavilion selected, then let's right click on it and choose 3D object and cube. Okay, and that places that there. And let's just scale this up. Okay, good. We've scaled it in that direction, scale it in this direction, and we'll scale it in this direction as well. Now obviously we don't want that cube to come out of the pavilion, so we've got to be a little bit careful about this. As you can see, it's sort of outside there, so I might have to bring this in a little bit, something like this. I might even just rotate the cube a little bit. Okay, yep, I think that's pretty good. So now we can see it's mostly contained within the pavilion itself. Obviously the player is not going to be able to get to the top of it, so that's perfectly fine. Okay, so we don't need a mesh renderer, let's remove that, and we do need to set this box collider to a trigger. And let's just call this save zone cube. Alright, just to tell us what it is. Now we need to modify some scripts in order for this to work. So the first script that we need to modify is the save script, so let's just open that. Oh, I've got something in there. I was experimenting there. The reason why I was experimenting is because the public statics actually persist across levels. So we'll get onto that in a bit. Resetting all of these public statics for when you've gone to the main menu and come back to the game again. So what we need now is another public static, and it's going to be a boolean, and we'll call it save zone. We'll say it's false to begin with because you're not currently in the save zone. So when you enter a save zone, that will become true, and that will talk to another script, allowing you then to save the game. Okay. So the way that we're going to save the game is by using player prefs. Alright, it's a really easy system, and it saves all of your data onto your computer, so that even when you close down the game, the next time you open it, you can actually reload your player prefs and everything comes back to the way it was. Okay, but for now we need to trigger this box so that we can change this save zone to true. Alright, so let's do that. I'll create a new script in the My Scripts folder. Create C#, and let's call it save zone script. Need to double click to open this. Okay, we probably will need to start on an update, so we're going to leave those for now. It's obviously going to be a on trigger enter. On trigger enter, there it is. Great. And obviously we need to check that it is actually the player. If other game objects dot compare tag is obviously player. Okay, we don't want that being triggered if it's an enemy entering there. Okay, so then we're going to talk to the save script dot save zone equals true, and then obviously we just need to reverse that for when we exit the save zone. So Control and C to copy, Control and V to paste, and this is on trigger exit. and we're going to set save zone back to false again. Alright, great. So that will then trigger that. So in the next video we're going to use this script, this actual save zone script, to create our player prefs and initiate a save system for this game. But for now, I'm just going to put this save zone script on the save zone cube. Alright, there we go, and that will work. Now obviously that's one of the pavilions. You will notice that there are other pavilions around. For example, there's one there that I can see. I think there's one up by the church. Let's take a look. Where is it? Yep, there's one there, if we can see that in between all those trees there. There's one there, and there's one there as well. I don't think that's pavilion. It might be. What I want you to do is to do the same thing with all the other pavilions. Create the cubes inside of them and attach this save zone script to each of these save zone cubes on each of these pavilions. Alright, that's your mini task before we go on to the next session.